evening, you beautiful people. My dogs are in the background singing the song of their people. We're here to talk about football. We have Austin with us. We have Jay with us. I thought Jay only came for wrestling on my team, but apparently he can talk football too.
I can talk enough.
Wow.
Hey, that's fine. I'm hyped up tonight. I'm good to go. I want to talk about some weekend football. Start with the biggest news coming out of the weekend. Dak Prescott went down. He didn't just go down. He went down with a massive Alex Smith-like injury. Austin, we're going to start with you. What are your thoughts on that entire situation? They refused to pay him. Now he has this injury. He's still only on that franchise tag. Is Jerry Jones going to do right by this man?
I mean, I don't know if it's in my place to say whether or not Jerry Jones is going to do right by him. What I think is going to happen is that the offense in Dallas is not Ezekiel Elliott. And if you look back to Dallas's earliest success with Dak Prescott, the offense was centered around Ezekiel Elliott. It was kind of Dak as an afterthought. It was a power run offense. And you have Ezekiel Elliott healthy, and you have Tony Pollard fully healthy. And I think you're going to see a lot of that now with Andy Dalton at the helm. So I think Dallas might win 8 or 9 games now that, it kind of seemed out of reach with, Dak there. I think a Ezekiel Elliott-focused offense, Dallas wins maybe 1 or 2 more games, and then it's kind of at Jerry's discretion to say, do I pay Dak Prescott not knowing if he's going to come back fully healthy or not? Or do I cut my ties with Dak and move forward with Andy Dalton and just become a power run team and have Andy Dalton kind of just be a distributor of the football? So I honestly don't know what's going to happen. It's very sad. I'm not a huge Dak Prescott guy, but I never want to see one of the NFL's top players go down, especially with a horrific injury like that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen in Dallas.
Jay, what are your thoughts on all this?
It's a horrific injury. When it comes down to it, Dak Prescott is really good at being able to avoid getting sacked and everything. And an injury like that, that's going to affect his mobility in the long run. But do I think that Jerry Jones might do right by him? Jerry Jones is kind of also known as, a guy that's for the players. At least from what I recall, I could see him trying to put up some money to keep Dak, but at the same time, it is a big question mark at this point. We can't be sure if Dak's going to come back at 100%, if he's going to be the same old guy that he's always been. And when it comes down to it, it's just such a question mark. You really don't know what you're going to do with that. Andy Dalton as the backup, though, does make this blow a little bit softer. I'm not saying it's an absolute replacement. Never have I ever watched a game and went, don't worry, guys. Andy Dalton's going to save the day. Not once. No. But as Austin pointed out, it's a very run-based team. Is that going to make them one-dimensional? That could be a problem. But at the same time, you got to look at the division they're in. I mean, 4 teams, 3 wins in total. So I'm definitely not saying that playoffs aren't out of reach, but at the same time, I think it would have been simpler, easier if Dak was able to, if that situation hadn't happened. So, but I do hope that Jerry Jones does do right by Dak Prescott. I like the guy. I think he's a pretty good player.
I don't think Dak Prescott is the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys in 2021, regardless of injury. So let's say he comes back at the beginning of 2021. He's not the starting quarterback. If he comes back at the beginning of 2022 because of this injury, he's not the starting quarterback. I think the Cowboys are going to use this as their leverage to move on and not pay Dak what he's worth, to which he's going to go to a team that is going to pay him what he's worth, a la New England Patriots, a la somebody – at this point, I don't know who needs a quarterback anymore because there's so many good quarterbacks in the league. We're in a situation where the quarterback plays above average across the league. Now, Austin, you still have problems with Dak Prescott when he still, even with leaving the game in the third quarter, as of this moment, leads the league in passing yards.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. There's flaws in his game. He doesn't play well when the game is either 0-0 or it's a knock-knock game. He only really erupts when he's hopelessly out of the game. You know, like we've seen with what was that game against the Giants? Even against the Giants, they were down 17-3. You know, at one point with Dak Prescott, that can't happen. That can't be allowed to happen. I don't think it's all on Dak. I've already mentioned that I think a dark horse for the next coach to be fired is Mike McCarthy. It's not working. It's absolutely.
Let's back up the train real quick. Drew Brees has been down by at least 14 in just about every single game this season.
Oh,
but you're saying Dak Prescott can't be down by 2 touchdowns.
Oh, I'm not saying Drew can't either. I think Drew Brees is holding the Saints back right now. I think his arm right now is questionable. You could definitely see his age this year.
Absolutely. And later on, I want to talk about another quarterback who's been lighting the world on fire, but still has 0 wins, if that gives you any hints. But we're going to keep this to Dak Prescott, who, again, still actively leads the league in passing yards, still actively has one of the best receiving corps in the league. Now we put in the Red Rocket, the Red Rifle, the guy from Cincinnati, Andy Dalton. I think the Cowboys are still taking this division. It's such a piss-poor division.
It's hard to say. The Carson Wentz really needs Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson to come back from injury so he can have somebody to throw to, because right now the Eagles, the game plan against the Eagles is very simple. Double cover Zach Ertz and make Carson Wentz beat you with undrafted guys and guys that he took off the streets of Philadelphia. So,
well, there's Jalen Reagor too.
Yeah, it hurt too. So,
of course,
yeah, it's bad in Philly right now. Carson Wentz gets some of those targets back. That defense is good enough to contend in that division. I think the Eagles are still going to end up taking the NFC East.
Brandon, I see your comment on the Vikings. We'll get to it. I want to keep this on the NFC East real quick, but we will get to your Minnesota question. So if you think Philly is going to outlast the Cowboys, because Andy Dalton, let's be real. We're seeing it with Joe Burrow. They don't know how to protect the quarterback in Cincinnati.
No, absolutely.
Under any circumstance. And Andy Dalton still took that team to 7 different playoffs and lost every single one, but still took them to 7 playoff games.
Yeah.
Now you put a receiving core and an offensive line like Dallas has, they're a legit threat still.
I don't know if in that division, I guess you could consider them a threat. I don't think it's going to be by a huge margin. I think Dallas is going to go probably 8-8, and Philly finishes maybe 9-7. It's going to be a game or a game and a half difference. It's not going to be anything crazy. It's not like Philly's going to erupt and go 12-4 the rest of the year. It's not going to happen. That is the worst division in pro football, and the records at the end of the year will reflect that.
Jay, thoughts?
I mean, I think it's 100% true. I mean, Jerry Jones, I think, was playing a little bit of 4D chess with us, picking up Andy Dalton as a backup. With all the question marks that were going into the season, having someone that is good enough to start as your backup is never a bad plan. That being said, it is the worst division in football. It's absolutely horrific. Does that mean that the Cowboys go on to win it? I find them to be strong contenders in that division. But as Austin said, I could see them going 8-8. I could see the highest team being 9-7. I don't see it being much different than that, because when they go out of the division, they're all going to get punched in the face.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely. Coming out of that division, they're screwed. Now, I also want to point out that I made a prediction about 3 weeks ago that New York was going to go 0-32 combined this year, and I'm at 0-10. I'm doing good. New York can't figure anything out on either team. My prediction's going well. So in the NFC East, beautiful people that are watching, let me know, who do you think is going to take the NFC East? Is Dallas going to win? Is Philly going to win? Is Washington going to come out of nowhere? The Giants are still going 0-16, so they're not going to win it.
No.
I'm holding true to that prediction. I'd put money down on it right now that New York goes 0-32 this season. And I'm not counting Buffalo. Because they're kind of.
Lawrence?
First, can we talk about how funny it would be if you went 0-16 and had the second overall pick in the draft?
That would be terrible.
That'd be the worst. Man, guys, you're playing so hard. Good job. Second round pick.
And we get the second pick.
How did that happen?
So what is the betting line on 0-32? I don't even think that's a prop bet, to be honest. I don't think I can find that anywhere. I'd hammer it. Hammer the hell out of it because they ain't winning a game. Neither one of them.
That's
Disagree.
I wouldn't bet against you.
Yeah, I'm not. I wouldn't bet against it either.
I think I saw something earlier on that like in the XFL, it was like the New York Guardians are the only home New York team that have actually won in New York so far in 2020.
Wow.
I mean,
wow.
Are we not including baseball? I can't imagine the Yankees.
Yeah.
Oh, football. Okay, I was going to say the Yankees were winning all the time.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I just wanted to make sure we had all the information on that fun fact.
absolutely.
So it's football.
The big skin game.
So that means at the beginning of the season, there's not a chance that any of them won. Well, not at the beginning of the season, but at the beginning of the year, calendar year, none of them won past January 1st. That's ridiculous.
Right. So
Martin, my man. Martin says Dallas 100%. Look at that NFC East. This is Dallas's division to win. If Dallas doesn't win the East, there's going to be a problem.
Well, Dallas can't play defense.
Neither can Philly.
But they could do it better than Dallas. Dallas, I think, is tied for 30th or 32nd ranked defense. It's not good. And their offense is Ezekiel Elliott, even though he's now going to be the center focus of that offense, is actually averaging his least amount of yards per game in his career up until now. He's averaging 673 yards a game.
So Mike McCarthy is a pass first kind of guy.
Yeah.
And this injury is going to force him to become more of a balanced offense kind of guy. And if he can't do that, and if he can't adapt, he's got to go.
Well, the thing is we seen him try to do that in Green Bay, and it didn't work. As Rodgers got older, McCarthy tried implementing the run game a little bit more, especially when he drafted Aaron Jones, and it still didn't work. So I really do think McCarthy's going to be an issue. I didn't like the hiring in the first place. I just think he's a guy that's kind of overstayed his welcome in the NFL, and maybe he could be a coordinator or a position coach somewhere, but his head coaching days are behind him.
Jay, you look like you're chomping at the bit. What you got on your mind?
Well, at the same time, I mean, we've already pointed out Dak Prescott has been getting all of his numbers come being down 2 scores.
That too.
You're not exactly running the ball down 2 scores all the time. So, but now with Ezekiel Elliott being the center point of the offense, that's going to be the center point of everyone's defense to shut down.
Yep.
So I don't see those stats really skyrocketing at all at this point in time.
So do the Jets and Giants play each other? They don't. The AFC East is playing the NFC West this year, and I believe that's going to go the same for the NFC East, and they're going to play the NFC West, or AFC West, sorry. So they do not play each other, which is why I'm so confident in the fact that they're going to go 0-32 this season. And every week that passes and every time we get a little bit closer, I get a little bit more happy. Now, I alluded to this earlier. There's a certain quarterback that is lighting up the world, lighting up the field. He still hasn't won a game in his career, though. Can either one of you figure out who I'm talking about?
Are you saying you want me to say that I was wrong about him? Is that what we're getting at here? Austin Wilson, mock draft guru, was wrong about Justin Herbert. He's a beast. He's a beast.
So, Jay, just to fill you in, there's a little bit of history on this show, as you can tell.
Right.
And a certain somebody didn't believe Justin Herbert was ever going to make it in the NFL, where I sat there and strongly disagreed.
Gotcha.
Justin Herbert still hasn't won a game. However, his last 3 of his last 4 games were against Tom Brady, Mahomes, and Drew Brees. And every single one of them was a one-score game.
And he played better than Drew Brees yesterday.
He absolutely played better than Drew Brees.
Wow.
Yeah, he's the real deal. The problem right now is the Chargers. The Chargers they're messing it up, but he's good. He's really.
They are the most unlucky team in football, year after year after year. The last time they had a fully healthy team, they went 12-4.
Yeah, they're missing Derwin James right now.
Yep. Derwin James, Keenan Allen left the game.
Yeah.
Hunter Henry didn't play.
Hunter Henry played.
I think it's Austin Eckler then that didn't play.
Yeah, it was Eckler that didn't play. Yeah.
It was another big name.
Yeah, Herbert's the real deal. I was wrong. I'll take
Bear,
that.
Bear. All day. No, I knew he was going to be a star the minute he cracked a defender in the head. The defender got injured, and he just got up like, yo, what's up? Do it again.
It's going to be a fun AFC West now because Derek Carr is silently having a very, very nice season. Patrick Mahomes is ridiculous. Justin Herbert's really good. And then Drew Lock is kind of the wild factor in that. But the AFC West has some pretty good quarterbacks.
I still don't believe in Drew Lock. And the rest of the AFC West has just kind of catapulted. Derek Carr looked absolutely unstoppable against the Chiefs. Yeah. That is the best I have ever seen Derek Carr look.
Yeah, they had no answer for him.
They did him and Henry. That connection to Ruggs, just 72 yards downfield, and we have touchdown.
Yeah, that's usually been the knock against Derek Carr, so he doesn't throw the deep ball, and he definitely threw the deep ball against Kansas City.
Yeah, no, it was great to see Derek Carr finally come into his own.
Yeah,
in that game, but he has to maintain it now.
Yeah,
and
I still think the Raiders are looking for another option at quarterback. But if he could continue this, then maybe John Gruden changes his mind.
It doesn't help that they are in such a tough division.
Yeah, it's hard to win that division.
Yeah, I was going to say there's very little room for mistakes from Derek Carr, and he's probably already used them all, so this is his final chance.
Yeah.
So if Cam Newton doesn't play on Sunday, who do you like as a replacement, and do you like all the changes in the schedule in the NFL? I'm going to start with the second half of that. Nobody likes the changes in the NFL.
No.
But it's a necessary evil,
yeah.
And if one more thing happens, guys, we can expect a Week 18.
Yeah.
Take one or two more pushbacks before the NFL and Roger Goodell finally just say, screw it, we're going Week 18 for all these missed games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take the first half of that question. If Cam doesn't keep playing, who do you start? Hoyer, I guess. Definitely not Jared Stidham. The jury is out on him.
Hey, hold on, Austin. What's your height and weight?
5'11".
You're not a quarterback. Jay, what's your
Whoa. I played quarterback in high school, dude. I'd be fine.
Shorter than that.
I'm 6 foot 140, and I'm a better quarterback than Brian Hoyer. Austin's 5'11", what probably 140, 150?
About 150.
About 150? He could be a better quarterback than Brian Hoyer.
No, I'll just better hope that O-line holds up.
Oh,
Patriots
dude,
O-line is great.
I know how to throw the ball away, unlike Brian Hoyer. Let's start there.
Yeah.
True.
If Cam can't play, it's rough.
That team has nothing without Newton.
I will take Dak on a cart.
Dak on a cart.
Dak on a cart. Someone literally just holding him up on a gurney, him strapped in up to his chest and throwing the ball. I will take that over the backup quarterbacks we have.
Absolutely. I'll take Julian Edelman playing quarterback for the game, then Brian Hoyer.
Would it be crazy to see the Patriots go and steal somebody like Case Keenum from Cleveland?
Is Keenum on the practice squad?
I'm not sure.
I would believe Josh Rosen more than anything because I know for a fact he's on a practice squad.
Yeah.
If Keenum's on a practice squad, I could see it. But I could also see Belichick being this cocky, arrogant GM that he is and signing somebody like Brady Quinn or Johnny Manziel just to prove a point.
Oh, my God. Johnny Football returned to the NFL. Oh, no.
He signed Tim Tebow to
he did.
I'm just saying that may or may not have been to get the attention away from Aaron Hernandez and his whole situation. I like this one. What about Garoppolo coming back to the Patriots?
It's interesting because Jimmy did not play well against the Dolphins. He got benched against the Dolphins. To me, San Francisco's kind of done. Like, their season's over. What could have been. And I don't know where that leaves San Francisco with their thoughts on Jimmy Garoppolo, because to me, he's always been kind of limited. But Belichick seems to work well with quarterbacks that have a ceiling. I'm not opposed to it. I guess I don't think Bill Belichick really wanted to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo in the first place. So bringing him back, I think he would be on board with that.
All right, we got a quick speed round to catch up on all the comments that I ignored here. And by ignored, I mean I didn't see half of them because I'm running both right now. So we got good idea or bad idea?
Other big news, a lot of it going on with the Patriots, and the NFL should have a bubble season. No.
It's impossible. There's too many people. Baseball, at most, I think they were allowed 45 people in their bubble between coaches, staff, and players. NHL had upwards of 50. The problem with the NFL is you're looking at 150 to 200 people per team. Yeah. It's impossible. You can't do it.
Yeah.
Jay, thoughts?
I mean, it's a lot of players, a lot of people. I just it's not, what's the word I'm looking for? As you said, it's not possible when it comes down to it. So
Broncos losing their bye week. Not the first team to lose their bye week. The Pittsburgh Steelers are now not going to have a bye week. They got pushed back. They technically had a bye week, but it was week 3 now.
Yeah.
So it's, again, the necessary evil of COVID football. We don't have a choice. All right. This is a question directly at me. Go for the extra point or 2 points, kick the field goal. He's directly talking about the Minnesota decision.
Yep.
Mike Zimmer should not be fired under any circumstance. He is a great coach. He is an above-average coach, and Minnesota fans need to realize that.
They need a new quarterback.
Kirk Cousins, okay, to a degree. Kirk Cousins historically starts the season really slow. His first 4 games are always trash. He just normally doesn't go 0-3 in that span.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or 1-4 in this case. So, with that being said, you can squeeze 2-2 out of Cousins in the first month of the season, you're golden as a Minnesota fan.
I don't know. I've never been a huge Kirk fan, even when he was in Washington. I think Kirk needs to go. I think they need to invest a little bit more money in that defense. Losing Everson Griffin, hurt. Danielle Hunter's been banged up. I think he's back now, but he has been banged up.
He wasn't back in that game.
He what?
He was not back in that game.
No? Oh, no.
Yannick Ngakoue and some dude I've never heard of with red hair that was, like, undrafted got sacks.
Adding Yannick Ngakoue was nice because him and Danielle Hunter are going to be a nice 1-2 punch on the ends. Losing Anthony Barr hurt. So I think they need a veteran corner in that secondary room to kind of coach up all these young guys. Because their secondary is just really young, and it's super easy for a veteran quarterback. I mean, we've seen with like Aaron Rodgers to just pick them apart.
I fully agree. Jay, do you have any thoughts on that?
Fortunately, I haven't been keeping up with Vikings football. Barely. With all these changes that are going on in the football season, on top of every other sports event getting really pushed back, it's been hard to keep up with just about anything, which goes back on the whole Week 18 thing. You know, people are losing their bye weeks, so they're getting their bye weeks in week 3 or 4 or whatnot like that. So it's so hard to actually just try to keep up with anything because all your headlines and everything are, oh, this game got changed today, and then now it's going to be tomorrow, and then it's going to be 3 weeks from now. And it's really confusing to try to keep a handle on it. I applaud you all who are able to keep up with this football season. It's been super difficult for me. I will be honest.
I seriously wonder if there's a good portion of fans that don't actually understand how important the bye week is in football.
Hmm.
There's a good portion of fans that don't understand the actual physical toll that a single game has on a player's body. And if you've never played football, you honestly should never comment on that. I remember waking up and not being able to actually get up before.
Yeah,
because the game hurt.
Mm-hmm.
The bye week right now, I mean, for my team, the bye week is the difference between us beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and losing our first game of the season. You know, if we were coming off of a big win over Atlanta and playing against Tampa Bay, who just came off of a big loss to Chicago, they're hungry, they're at home, I think we lose that game. But we're coming in fully healthy with 2 weeks of rest and getting some of our starters that we've been missing for the last 3 weeks out. So we're getting those guys back. The bye week is critical in situations like that, especially in a game that's going to have repercussions in the playoffs when you have teams like Green Bay and Tampa Bay going at it. You know, that's going to have playoff implications.
Shout out to Austin for calling Chicago beating Tampa Bay last week. Never saw that coming in a million years.
I did.
He was
I predicted
right.
it. I took the under on the game, and I took Chicago. And I had a couple people who were like, I'm not going to take Chicago. I'm going to take Tampa. I'm like, I'm telling you, take Chicago. And they didn't, and they lost. I took Chicago, and then I took the under because the prediction was like 44 points between the two teams.
Our friends of the Whiskey Hour podcast, Stidham was never given the chance in that game to get into the groove.
Oh.
He threw a pick six, three plays in? Of course he's not going to get in the
Get him out of there.
Yeah, no.
Get him out of there.
2 out of his first 7 career passes, or no, sorry, it was 2 out of his first 5 career passes were pick six. No. Get him out of there. Get him out of town. Get him off the team. Get him out of the league.
Wow.
Alex Smith.
It was so great.
Oh, by far my favorite moment of the season was hands down the update I got that Alex Smith was in the game.
A pro's pro.
There is nobody more deserving of getting back on the field than Alex Smith. And I was so disappointed when Ron Rivera named Kyle Allen the starter over Alex Smith. And I'm not saying I wanted Kyle Allen to get hurt, but I'm just happy to see Alex Smith play football again.
I still think Dwayne Haskins has potential. I think he just needed to be one of those quarterbacks that sat for a little while, and he didn't really get that opportunity. So I think if Alex Smith was able to take over the starting role and Dwayne Haskins and Kyle Allen were to sit, on the bench for a little while, I think Haskins could still come out and be a productive quarterback.
At this point, there we go. I was going to say, we have Jay out here like, yeah.
Just kind of hanging on the line. Yeah, I agree. No, but they're, in the general terms of the game, there are some guys that you just need to sit and watch and learn and need that extra time to get the playbook and see how it's actually executed. And,
Jordan Love's one of those guys.
So when it comes down to it, that's what you need.
Out on Jordan Love.
What?
The jury is still out on Jordan Love.
Yeah, he's not even suiting up for games. He's sitting there on the sideline in shorts and a t-shirt. He's not playing for a couple seasons yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've covered this before. The Vikings should have kept Case Keenum. No, the hell they shouldn't have. They shouldn't have kept Teddy Bridgewater. They made the right move at the time.
Yeah.
The mistake was re-signing him.
Yeah.
Talking about Kirk Cousins, that is.
I agree. It was a good move at the time. And, when it first happened, I was like, oh, that's tough for my Packers because that turns Minnesota legit. And it did. But now Kirk Cousins seems like he's shell-shocked every time he plays. And he's kind of seeing ghosts. So,
a la Sam Darnold.
Yeah, he's like the older Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I fully agree. At the time, Teddy Bridgewater was coming off of that injury. Nobody knew what he was. You're not going to pay him a lot of money and not know. Case Keenum, he worked for that 1 year, wasn't going to work long term.
No.
So you had to take the best available and also who would go to you. and the best available was Kirk Cousins. It was the right move at the right time.
Hindsight's 2020.
Exactly. Who has a better shot of winning Offensive Rookie of the Year, Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert?
I have to give it to Burrow. Herbert's probably going to have better stats, but Joe Burrow right now is on track to be sacked 76 times this year because Cincinnati just does not know how to protect their quarterbacks. He's got weapons.
He's not going to make it through this season. He's going to die.
I like Burrow a lot. I wasn't huge on him coming out of the draft. I always thought that the best quarterback in that draft was Tua. I still think that.
You're still wrong.
But Burrow has definitely surprised me in a good way, and he's playing great. He's bringing a winning mentality to Cincinnati, which they haven't had in a really long time. They've just kind of had a constant attitude of mediocrity. And Joe Burrow comes from a winning organization in LSU. He won in high school. He won Little League. He's a winning quarterback, and he wants to win in Cincinnati, and I think that's good for them. But if they want to keep him upright, they need to protect him.
Joe Burrow on any other team in the league right now is 4-1 instead of 1-4.
I agree.
Any team. I don't care who it is. Cincinnati has the worst offensive line in history, and they are going to get Joe Burrow murdered by a defender.
They need to draft Penei Sewell.
Yeah, they need 2 first-round picks next year that both need to be offensive linemen.
Yep.
You cannot settle for anything else. If I'm Joe Burrow, I am in that meeting room for the draft. Draft me an offensive lineman in the first round. My blind side specifically. For the love of God.
They don't need weapons. They'll probably be able to hang on to A.J. Green. And even if they don't, they still have Auden Tate, John Ross, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. They have plenty of guys to throw to. They have running backs.
His contract runs up at the end of the year, but T. Higgins looks like he's going to be a superstar.
Yeah, I like Higgins a lot. So they don't have an excuse to draft. As much as I would love to see Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow reunited, they need to get him some help up front.
Let's talk about that rookie wide receiver class for a second.
It's incredible.
With Chase Claypool just going off for 4 touchdowns in his second game.
Yeah, he had 42 points on my bench in fantasy.
Yeah, how'd that feel? Did that sting a little?
It's okay. I still won by 40.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well played.
So, top 13 wide receivers from the draft all seem like they're going to be studs. Yeah. They're all superstar in the making. There's not a single one of them that's doing bad right now.
Nope. Yeah, they've all been great. A lot of them fell to really good organizations that needed wide receivers or used wide receivers a lot. You know, they didn't go to a New England team that runs the ball and throws the tight ends and dump offs to running backs. It's all big plays. Like Justin Jefferson in Minnesota has been big plays, flashy deep balls from Kirk Cousins. Jerry Jeudy's been nice to watch. He was my favorite receiver in the draft. CeeDee Lamb was fun to watch. Him and Dak kind of getting that chemistry together. I enjoyed that. And my favorite, though, has been Joe Burrow and T. Higgins. I think they have a nice chemistry, and I'm interested to see how it's going to develop in the next few seasons.
So let's go through this. We had 13 wide receivers go in the first 2 rounds of the draft, right?
Yep.
We're going to run through them real quick and tell me which one of these guys is doing the worst. So we got Henry Ruggs in Vegas, Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Reagor, Justin Jefferson. I don't know how to pronounce Brandon's last name.
Ayuk.
Brendan Ayuk, T. Higgins, Michael Pittman, Laviska Shenault, KJ Hamler, Chase Claypool, and Van Jefferson. Oh, and Denzel Mims. Denzel Mims been injured all year. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, it's a tie between Michael Pittman and Jalen Reagor right now. Michael Pittman's a guy that I really, really liked coming out of USC. I think he still could be something really special. It's just he doesn't really have a quarterback. I don't trust Phillip Rivers throwing the ball anymore. They are a power run team behind that beefy offensive line that they have. But I still do like Pittman. I think if you get another quarterback in there, Pittman could really be something. Jalen Reagor has just been plagued with injuries because he's a Philadelphia Eagle, and that's part of being a Philadelphia Eagle is you have to get hurt. So I don't really know. The jury's still out on him.
So we're seeing a lot of rookie wide receiver love here. We got Jefferson, we got Jerry Jeudy.
Yep.
We have probably 9 of those names as solid number ones moving forward.
Yeah. I mean, Jerry Jeudy is a solidified number 1 in Denver. I think Cortland Sutton's a great number 2. T. Higgins won't be a number 1 for a long time. I think Tyler Boyd is the number 1 after AJ Green leaves. Right now, it's still AJ Green. Who else? Justin Jefferson. It's Adam Thielen.
Adam Thielen was never really a number 1 though. He gets the
now.
most looks. No, he gets the most looks, which that doesn't necessarily mean he's the number 1, but he's running the number 2 routes. And Jefferson's over there running the number 1 routes now.
Yeah, he's their little Stephon Diggs replacement.
Exactly. So realistically, Jefferson is the first one to truly be a number 1.
Yeah, I mean, Ayuk has number 1 potential and having Deebo Samuel take that second spot, but I haven't seen enough yet.
Laviska Shenault took the number 1 spot from DJ Shark like that.
Yeah, I think but that receiving core is solid. DJ Shark, D.D. Westbrook, and Laviska Shenault, you can win with that.
Yeah, you just need a real quarterback.
Yeah, you just need exactly. You need to have
Dak
Trevor
Prescott, a la Dak Prescott next year.
Trevor Lawrence.
There's no way they're getting Trevor Lawrence.
Maybe.
They already have 2 wins this season.
I mean, are the Giants or the Jets going to draft Trevor Lawrence, though?
Absolutely. If I'm the Jets, and speaking of which, we're going to get into the Jets right now because we just got a comment to that. So, Nick, sorry there, Jay. I'm covering your entire face.
Oh, boy, I'm sorry to hear that.
Jets fan here. I understand why people want to fire Gase, but why are people acting like Gase is the only issue? The Jets are crap from top to bottom. They've ruined Sam Darnold, wasted the running backs they have, and the front office is completely directionless. We go 0-16 with or without Gase. Just saying.
I strongly disagree.
Same.
I think you're a 4, 5, 6 win team without Adam Gase.
I'd say 3 to 5.
Sam Darnold can play. Adam Gase is making him regress. Adam Gase has failed to utilize Le'Veon Bell, and then when he started using Le'Veon Bell, he pushed him back from injury to make him kind of regress as a running back because Le'Veon Bell, before he went to the Jets, was one of the best running backs in the league, and now not even a top 10, arguably.
So reports came out today that Le'Veon Bell's camp wants to trade.
Yeah, he's on the trading block, apparently.
No surprise there. Adam Gase runs any decent player completely out of New York. It happened in Miami. It's happened here.
Jamal Adams didn't want to be there.
Go all the way back to Jarvis Landry didn't want to be in Miami.
Yep.
Minka Fitzpatrick. Any superstar player doesn't want to play for Adam Gase.
Robbie Anderson, Sam Darnold's only wide receiver.
Yep.
That's Jamison Crowder.
But at the same time, how can you sit there and say that Adam Gase isn't the problem?
It's definitely Adam Gase. The Jets need to go get Lincoln Riley. That needs to happen.
Oh, whoa. Didn't see that comment. Guys, Gase, he's not an offensive genius.
No,
he's quote-unquote the quarterback whisperer, and he's been pretty bad at that.
Yeah.
So to add to Nick's misery, the Giants may be winless, but they have a future there. I don't think they draft Lawrence, but I do like what Joe Judge has done so far. We all knew this was going to be a bad season, but I see a lot of potential in their play. Giants are in a much better position than the Jets.
I disagree.
I was going to say, besides Saquon Barkley, which I'm going to put Saquon Barkley and Le'Veon Bell on the same token because they have the same injury issues.
Yeah. I don't know how Saquon's going to come back, but there is one thing that I will say about the Giants that I really like. It's this wide receiver named Darius Slayton. He's a stud. He's an absolute monster. If they can get either Daniel Jones to kind of come into his own or get a real quarterback in there, they're going to be an offensive powerhouse. They have a left tackle now. Saquon comes back. You have Evan Ingram. You have Darius Slayton and Sterling Shepard. I like kind of what they're doing offensively. It's their defense that leaves much to be desired. But they have 2 safeties that I really like. Xavier McKinney and Jabril Peppers. That's solid.
I
That's something to
don't
work off of.
care. Oh, go ahead, Jay.
I said that's something to work off of at least. But,
Yeah, I mean, there's pieces.
Just to add a point about Adam Gase, as Nick pointed out, yeah, sure, the whole team is trash. Everything over there is always kind of like a dumpster fire. But it's can't be denied that he is if the arrow is pointing down, he is the point of that arrow. He's the one leading that charge.
He's their Dan Quinn.
Right. I mean, cool. Without him, maybe
we're going to get into in a minute.
5 games, a whole 3 to 5. I mean, no one's cheering for that. No one's going, yeah, my home team won 3 whole games this season. Woo! But with Gase, I agree. I mean, it's been said, New York going 0-32. So,
I don't care who you are in this league. You can be Seattle. You can be Green Bay. You can be New England. You can be Arizona. I don't care. Trevor Lawrence at number 1 overall. To answer the question of would they really do it if they're the Jets or the Jets? Yes. I don't care who you are. I don't care who your quarterback is. Trevor Lawrence is the quote-unquote next Tom Brady. I'm going to be honest. I've never seen Trevor Lawrence play. I've only seen what I've read.
He's good. He's a stud. I mean, wherever he goes, he's gonna be good. But next, Tom Brady, he's way more athletically gifted than Tom Brady is.
All right, let's call him Russell Wilson then.
He's the next Carson Wentz if Carson Wentz could stay healthy.
Anybody want to be Carson Wentz?
Athletically, they're kind of the same. He plays a lot like Justin Herbert, actually.
All right. So, but my point, nonetheless, is no matter who you are, especially if you're going to be in the top of the draft, you're taking them. You're trading Sam Darnold. You're not going to trade Trevor Lawrence.
Well, why would you draft him number 1 then? If you're the Seahawks,
trade Sam.
No. If you're the Seahawks, you're going to trade Russ. No. If you're the Packers, you're going to trade Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, absolutely. No. Yeah. No.
No.
Oh.
No.
No, this is the exact issue I had with Tom Brady. He didn't know when to leave. Yes, if you draft Trevor Lawrence, you are trading Aaron Rodgers and getting him out of town before it's too late and he's no longer effective.
No.
Absolutely.
No, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Maybe if you're the Saints, I'll give you the Saints. But Aaron Rodgers has shown no signs of slowing down. He's 13-0 this year.
And neither was Tom Brady. He was just 37 when we traded Jimmy Garoppolo.
No.
I am still to this day bitter about that.
No, you're not trading. Jimmy Garoppolo is not nearly as much of a hot commodity as Trevor Lawrence is going to be.
I absolutely agree with that, which is why you keep Trevor Lawrence for your future and ship Aaron Rodgers out of town.
No. If Green Bay had the number 1 pick in the draft, we'd be taking Jamar Chase. 100%. Him and Devontae Adams, oh my God.
Okay, so Jamar Chase is a wide receiver?
Yes. Oh my God.
So you're putting way too much faith in Green Bay drafting a wide receiver in the first round because Aaron Rodgers has never thrown a touchdown pass to a wide receiver.
He doesn't need
drafted in the first round.
How did we get into a tangent about how good Green Bay will get the number 1 pick? They're 4-0 right now.
By trading Aaron Rodgers, that's how you do it.
Guys, somebody has to reel me in when I start getting ridiculous. Come on
in.
I enjoyed it.
Let's go.
It was rather entertaining to watch.
Oh boy. Okay, so
but go ahead.
Who actually does, besides the Jets and the Giants, who actually does have a shot at being the worst team in the NFL this year?
If Jacksonville keeps losing and the Jets and Giants,
nope.
What is happening?
Where'd
Do we
Jake
have
go?
sound?
You got sound, but you
got sound. You don't have
point. The dark abyss. Well.
All right. Oh, wow.
Well, we lost Jake for a moment, but hopefully he'll be back soon. No, I don't see anyone else. Even in contention for number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard to find a team that's going to be that bad. And it's hard to beat the Jets at being terrible.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets are kind of known for that.
I mean, I guess I could see the Jets pulling the trigger on Trevor Lawrence. I really would like to see them develop Sam Darnold because I think he could be really good.
Yep.
Same thing with Daniel Jones, honestly. Daniel Jones has shown flashes of being a legitimate NFL starter. It's just he hasn't been able to consistently do it, in large part because of the team around him.
Mm-hmm.
But he looks better this year. And, I mean, that's without Saquon. So they've been using Wayne Gallman Jr. as their running back.
Right. I mean, Flash, as I think we discussed it before, the Giants look a little bit more solid than the Jets do. I mean, when it comes down to it, if anyone ends up, being able to stick to their guns, hopefully it'd be the Giants overall. As you pointed out, they got some good safeties. They need some defense work. Barkley comes back, and hopefully you got a decent running game going on now. The Jets, I don't know. I mean,
in that division, you don't really need a whole lot of team to take the NFC East. So they could be in contention as early as next year if they could have a good offseason.
Absolutely. And I mean, with all the question marks that are getting thrown up as well with the NFC East, if Dak isn't able to be a starter next year, as we discussed at the very beginning of the show, it's not a hard division. You get a little bit of confidence in your guys, and you can probably, breeze your way through, 9, 10 whole wins.
Yeah, I mean, and Carson Wentz he's a question mark too right now. Is he gonna, revert back to Carson Wentz, what looked like could have been the MVP before he got hurt?
Right.
Or is he going to continue this kind of regression path that he's on? And are we going to see Jalen Hurts take over? I mean, they drafted him for a reason in the second round.
Right.
You don't draft when you are that desperate for wide receivers. You don't take a quarterback in the second round if you don't think you're not going to use him.
Right. I mean, it's fine having someone to shoot the ball out there, but if he ain't got targets to go to.
Yeah.
So
Carson Wentz just needs some receiver help. His receivers are old and banged up. Alshon Jeffrey's out of his prime. Deshaun Jackson's been out of his prime. Jalen Reagor's a question mark.
Right.
I mean, what games did we watch this week that you kind of stood out to you?
I am literally so far behind trying to catch up on everything. I am only this is the first full game I'm watching. Tuesday Night Football right now.
I forgot that. Who's winning.
Oh yeah, right now it's Tennessee 21, Buffalo 10.
Oh wow!
Right, and that's I was going to say I don't think anyone actually thought that Tennessee had a chance in this game, but here they are up 2 scores.
Sneaky good.
Yes, I've been noticing that.
Team. They're not going to beat those top teams, or they're going to be the team that's going to lose to like a Raiders or something like that. But
Raiders,
then they'll go knock off the Bills or the Chiefs or something like that. They can beat any team on any given Sunday or Tuesday in this case.
Right, I was about to say, or in this case, apparently on a Tuesday. I mean, from what I've seen, I've really liked what Tennessee's been doing. Again, my TV is actually facing the other way, so I can't actually watch. But the highlights that I got before I hopped onto the show, I'm going, all right, look at this team go. And that's the thing. I was never always like, oh wow, Tennessee. Those guys are going to be, the ones that come out and start out. Shows how much I've been paying attention as of late, especially this year. This year's so confusing to try to keep up with. Good job on you trying to keep up.
Yeah, it's been a circus.
Oh, no doubt. But yeah, I mean, what do we got? They got they've been able to the one thing that I would say is that they're having a hard time stopping Diggs.
Oh, that's good. He's on my fantasy team.
There you go.
Great to hear.
I mean, I'm not saying that Diggs is doing great. When I hopped off, he had missed 4 targets. But he already had, but he's one of the guys that I've always just enjoyed watching.
Heather, Tampa is playing Green Bay this Sunday, and I think Green Bay is going to stomp them. Tampa is in no condition. They are beaten down. They just lost to Chicago. They're banged up. Mike Evans is banged up. Gronkowski looks like he doesn't remember how to play football anymore. It's too many hits to the head. Leonard Fournette is banged up. Tom Brady is shell-shocked. And that offensive line cannot protect him like New England's used to. And Green
Tom
Bay's
Brady
got
looks
some
like a
pass
man who
rushers.
is just he doesn't look like he knows what he's doing. He's getting angry all the time. That O-line needs to do something to, he's an old man.
Yeah, Tristan
Old
Wirfs
man.
bullied. That right tackle that they ended up drafting, I liked Wirfs a lot coming out of, I believe, Iowa. Liked him a lot. And, oh, wow, the Jets just released Le'Veon Bell.
Oh.
Wow.
That's some news. That's some news right there.
News. I mean, landing spots?
I don't know who needs a running back at the moment.
There's a few teams. The Texans could really use a running back because they're rolling with David Johnson right now, and I don't think that's been too productive. I could also see the Cardinals kind of getting a split back with him and Chase or Kenyon Drake and Le'Veon Bell.
I mean, Le'Veon can also catch the ball. That's the thing. He's kind of
Le'Veon's every all-around running back. He can catch the ball, he can block, he can run. He's the only running back in the NFL that's never allowed a sack.
Wow.
And pass protection. So
there we go. I didn't know that.
There's a few teams that could definitely use him. I mean,
now does anyone have the cap space to actually do that?
I don't know what his cap space, what he commands now, because he ended up getting significantly less money than what he was trying to get from Pittsburgh, from the Jets, from holding out. So I think he got like a 3-year, like 40-something million contract.
All right, so
it's about $7.58 million a year, I think.
Right, that wouldn't be too hard to shake for any team.
I mean, I could see a team like Kansas City have a split back with him and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, or I mean, Chicago, but Chicago's problem isn't really that they don't have any running backs. Their problem is that they have no offensive line. So adding a running back doesn't really solve anything.
No, that doesn't solve a darn thing.
Green Bay has got plenty of running backs. I don't know where. I mean, New England, but they just started using Damian Harris, and he had a really nice game in his first game. I mean, he had already 100 yards in his first game of the season. So
at the same time, New England's always been a carousel over there.
Yeah,
with the running back position. So I mean, you use one guy, you learn his name, and then they drop him. 3 weeks later, that was the Jonas Gray or something like that they did that too, I believe.
I could see possibly the Eagles, or maybe the Giants. The Giants using him and Devontae Freeman in the absence of Saquon Barkley.
Right. That actually makes a lot of sense. I could see that. Absolutely.
Washington would probably be a good landing spot because they don't have a running back right now. No, they're rolling with Antonio Gibson, and I think they drafted him in like the 4th or 5th round.
Ooh.
So if they could get Le'Veon Bell.
So we're definitely going with the NFC East is probably going to be trying to pick up this once
outside of
a star player, really a hot commodity.
Yeah.
Had what was it? Some personal issues that ended up getting him. Why no one wanted to pick him up.
I think it had a lot to do with him and his relationship with Gase, because Gase did not want him there from the jump, and then kind of didn't really use Le'Veon Bell like Pittsburgh did. They didn't run the ball as much as Pittsburgh did. And Le'Veon Bell's a running back that really benefits from carries. He needs carries to get his legs underneath of him so that he can be effective in the run game.
Yeah.
And they never really gave him a chance to get in his rhythm. So, and then he got hurt, and then they rushed him back from injury, and then he got hurt again. So now it's just been kind of like a downward spiral from him. So hopefully wherever he does go, it's a good foundation, a good offensive line. And we can see a resurgence of Le'Veon Bell this year because he's one of my favorite running backs in the league.
He was always exciting to watch. He was always making people miss and just absolutely explosive.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen Todd Gurley get a second chance with Atlanta, and he's got much worse injury issues than Le'Veon Bell does. So, I mean, I would love to see a team take a chance on Le'Veon Bell and try to get him into a playoff spot.
Yeah. I mean, as you said, it sounds like right now the biggest spot out of all of those you said was Washington, who you said just doesn't have anyone, and that could do it right there.
Yeah, especially if you're going to play, Alex Smith or Kyle Allen, giving them a running back that can catch the ball and they can dump it off to in a pinch. That's going to significantly help a younger quarterback or and Alex Smith, who's coming back from injury and doesn't really have his legs underneath of him yet, he has an out to get rid of the ball.
Yeah, no, that would be a fantastic sign.
Because Smith's not really in a position where he can take a lot of sacks.
Gotcha.
You don't want to bang up that leg.
No, you don't want to bang up a guy coming back from injury.
No, I mean he's had 17 surgeries on that leg.
Jeez. Oh, welcome back.
Hey, look.
Hey, I figured it out.
We've been holding down the fort.
Oh, that was a 10-minute issue that I had to figure out.
Jake, your thoughts on where Le'Veon Bell might end up? What?
I don't think anybody signs him.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's a hot take.
Yeah,
Well, okay. Nobody signs him for the rest of this season.
What about Washington?
I think Washington's pretty set in what they're trying to do. They're not trying to bring in that kind of
They're not
name
trying
value
to win.
player.
They're not trying to win.
Other than that, I mean, maybe Houston.
Yeah.
Maybe
cap
Arizona.
Yeah. Houston doesn't have the cap space.
No, they don't. They're going to be in salary cap hell for the next 3 years.
Yep.
So
I don't know.
other than that, Miami maybe. Just to get a – I like Myles Gaskin. I have Myles Gaskin on my my fantasy team for the GCSN League. The dude's been phenomenal. He's been my best running back because I was horrible at drafting running backs.
Wow. My two starting running backs this week were Keyshawn Vaughn and Jerick McKinnon, and they combined for 2 points.
Ooh, look at that. Personally, I hope that he gets signed by the Giants just so the Giants can get one win this season and prove Jake wrong.
Le'Veon Bell does not give the Giants one win. Le'Veon Bell gives the Giants about 70 more yards and 0 touchdowns.
Beautiful.
So
you'd still be confident in going 0-32, even if they were able to sign someone that was.
I'm more confident now that the Jets released Le'Veon Bell that the Jets are going 0-16. Now I just need Darius Slayton to get hurt, and I'm confident that the Giants are going to go 0-16 100%.
Wow, man. Le'Veon Bell's a free agent again.
Again.
All right, well, we're into the final 60 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. I came apparently just in time for the wrap-up because I didn't trust Austin enough to do it, and Jay's too new to do it. So.
You understand?
I believe, Jay, are you joining us tomorrow again?
If you guys will have me. And
absolutely we'll have you. So me and Jay will be back tomorrow.
I'm all ready for the WWE draft. I just can't wait till y'all start talking New Japan.
There's a whole lot of wrestling in the world that I don't pay attention to anymore.
That's 100% legit, but this is all about today.
Yeah. So tomorrow, me and Jay will be with Nick and Martin and maybe Mike. We might have 5 people tomorrow. That's going to be a wild show.
You know Nick's going to go over.
I'll bury him. I will bury him to hell. So, tomorrow, we have Squared Circle Talk. Good job, Jake. You're doing good. Spend an hour of talking. Then, on Thursday, we have Behind the Basket and Inside the Ice before we wrap back around to the beginning of our week for Circus Monkey Sports Sunday morning. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the beautiful people of the GCSN fan base. I'm Jake. That's Jay. This is Austin. Me and Austin, at least, will be back next Tuesday, probably with Bryce and or Nick. Maybe Nick will make a comeback. I don't know. He's coming back eventually. Maybe we have Jay over here. Fill in again. I'm horrible at this. We will see what happens next week. We will be here to tell you everything football and break down everything football. Ladies and gentlemen,